What's up everyone? So in this video, I'm gonna help you with your squat. I'm gonna help you fix your squat again. In particular, I'm gonna be talking about the high bar squat today. Those of you who prefer the low bar can definitely benefit from this discussion, but this problem that I'm gonna address is more common in people who place the bar in the high bar position. So the problem we're gonna talk about today is your hips shooting out from under you as you stand up with the barbell. I'm gonna talk about what's going on, why this is happening, why this is bad, and what we can do to fix it. So I'm gonna demonstrate what I'm talking about with 315 on the bar so that you can see what it looks like with real weight. And I loaded the bar with a bunch of 25s just so that when he's on the side, there's not 45-pound plates blocking the view. So here we go. So as you guys saw, my hips shoot up from under me as soon as I stand up. Now what's happening is, when I squat down, I'm opening up at the angle of the knees. So I'm opening up, I'm extending my knees, I'm pushing my butt back, and that me extending my knees and opening up the angle of my knees is not having any impact on the barbell. I'm extending the knees, my hips are going back, nothing's happening with the barbell. My hips are moving, the barbell's not moving up like it should be, or it's moving very slowly. So the reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to leverage the bar. A lot of people can lift more weight with their back than they can with their legs. So if I try to maintain a very vertical torso and I try to keep the tension on my legs, on my quads, it's very hard to do this for me. So I shoot my hips back. I change the angle of my torso to more horizontal so I have some leverage and I can stand up with my back. So the reason this is bad is because you're not using the movement for its intended purpose. You are completely sidestepping the benefit of the squat. You are not using your legs to move the weight, you're using your back. It's very similar to hitching in the deadlift. So when you deadlift and you get to a sticking point where it becomes very heavy, you have all the tension on your posterior chain, your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back. And what you do is you shove your knees forward, you take the tension off your posterior chain, and then you stand up with your quads and your knees because it's easier. You are taking the path of least resistance. So for a lot of you guys, shooting your hips back and lifting the weight up with your back is easier. Again, the path of least resistance. This might be the reason why some of you guys say, I've been squatting for a long time, I'm not seeing any progress on the size of my legs, I'm not putting any muscle on my legs, and I've been squatting my ass off for a long time. It's because if you're doing this, if you're shooting your hips back, you're not using your legs to squat. That's why you're not making any progress on the size of your legs. This could also explain why some of you guys have monstrous deadlifts and shitty squats. This could also be a reason why you are plateauing, so you're stuck. Your squat has not improved. You can only get so far with this crappy technique of shooting your butt back and using your back to stand up. Eventually, you're not gonna be able to progress because again, you're not using the squat for its intended purpose. There are a number of reasons that you might be stuck in a plateau. Could be lifestyle reasons, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not getting enough food. In the gym, you might be doing too much volume, not enough volume, but I can guarantee you if you're doing this, if you're shooting your hips back and standing up with your back, you are going to hit a wall if you have not already. The next reason why this is bad is because obviously you might be hurting your back. If you feel lower back discomfort or you feel like your back hurts after squats and your hips are shooting back, this is obviously why. You're using your back to stand up. The next reason why this is a problem is because for a lot of people, when you shoot your hips back, you toss your upper body forward, so now that barbell is over your toes, you're off balance, so it's throwing you out of position. So how do we fix this? What I want you to start doing is very simple. It's not easy, but it's very simple. You're gonna start incorporating pause squats into your routine. If you have a really bad problem with this, shooting your hips back, I would suggest just sticking with pause squats for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, however long it takes you to learn the movement. Because what you've done is you've ingrained a bad motor pattern into your body, into your mind, and so as soon as you squat, your hips shoot back and it happens automatically. I noticed that when people speed their squat up, so they really try to rely on that bounce, and they have this problem. They're here and it immediately shoots back like that. So you need to slow the movement down, learn how to grease the groove and feel the squat. I relate these barbell movements to learning how to swing a bat or learning how to swing a golf club. If you have a crappy swing, you cannot resort to just swinging harder and faster expecting to get better. You have to take a step back, know how to do the movement correctly and smoothly and slowly at first, so that you know the movement before you start to increase speed or increase velocity on the club head. It's the same with the squat. You have to know how to properly squat before you add weight. So again, I want you to start incorporating pause squats into your routine. You're gonna squat all the way down, stop any momentum, and while you're at the bottom of the squat, I want you to think about two things. One, using your legs, so drive your feet through the floor. Scream it in your head, drive through the floor, drive through the floor. Legs, 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 whatever you have to say to yourself to get you to realize you need to use your quads and your legs to drive through the floor and stand up. The second thing I want you to remember is the angle of your back. So if I start with a very vertical torso, the angle of my back is nearly vertical. As I squat down and hit the bottom, I have to keep that back angle, back angle, back angle, back angle as I stand up. I don't want my hips to shoot back, causing my back angle to be horizontal, okay? So I don't want my back angle to change. When you're at the bottom, legs, 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 back angle, back angle, back angle, okay? So I'm gonna show you what a set of pause squats look like when I'm driving my feet through the floor and I'm keeping my vertical back angle as I stand up. So one other small tip, it's very subtle, but it definitely helps me, is to keep you balanced, prevent your butt from shooting back, is to bow your knees out at the bottom. Make sure you're keeping that tension out. And I don't want you to just think about pushing your knees out, because what could happen is, as I push my knees out, I'm putting all the pressure in my foot on the outside of my foot like this. I want the tension, the pressure to be throughout my whole foot. So what I want you to think about is corkscrewing your feet into the ground. So driving down and corkscrewing out like this. Obviously my foot's not gonna move when I do it, but that's the tension you want. So my knees here, out. And what that does for me, it's very subtle. As I squat down, if I feel like my knees are coming forward, what happens is the weight shifts forward, which my butt is gonna shift back to counter it. So what I do is, as I bow my legs out, it brings the weight back over midfoot. So it's here, back here. So I guess from the front, I'm here, coming forward. It kind of brings me back over midfoot. It's very subtle, but it definitely helps. So I would suggest incorporating that. Remember, not just knees out, but corkscrew down and in like this. And it'll bring you back to the center of your foot. So when you start incorporating these pause squats in your routine, it's gonna be a little bit of hurt to your ego, because you're not gonna be able to do the same amount of weight. You're not gonna be able to do the same amount of weight for a given number of reps. So you're gonna have to lighten the weight a little bit, go back to square one, learn how to properly do the movement. As you become more and more comfortable, you can minimize that pause, and it can be a lot more fluid, eventually completely eliminating the pause. So it's taking one step back in order to take 2 steps forward. So guys, I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. Always remember, tread on time.